So, um, I think I covered, they shouldn't be allowed to oversell seats. They shouldn't be allowed to remove somebody unless the person voluntarily wants to, to get off or voluntarily for money, get off the thing. The crew shouldn't be allowed to, you know, if the crew people are that need those seats, if they don't get there before the plane, as the people are boarding, well then they just have to. United can just pay for them to fly in a private small jet that United keeps available for situations like that, or I don't know, put them in a Uber and send them. I don't care, but they shouldn't be, because I just know, I bet you money that those four people who got there at the last minute after the employees that got there at the last minute after the plane was already filled and all the seats were filled, they could have been there when when people were being called up, and they would have been the first people to, those four people would have got on the airplane, and then everybody else would have filled in. What I didn't know until they mentioned it on the news the other day was that it's not just, they don't have the computer just randomly pick four people. When somebody, well, in this case, they needed four and they got down to one. The computer just doesn't do a random number thing and come up with a person and seat number or whatever. They run this program that who paid the least for the seat. So they don't want to. If he paid $100 for that ticket for some reason, and whoever paid like $100, say, and if everybody else paid either $200 a seat or $300 a seat or $400 a seat or whatever, those people will not be removed. They pick and I can understand they want to monetize that and get as much money, but that bugs me. That bothers me. But it would also bother me if you did a random way, and you have, it comes up and you're on your honeymoon and you're sitting there and they tell you that, of course, hopefully they would have enough sense, these people are flying together and we're not going to, but, so I don't know, but that picking of the person who paid the least for the ticket, I can understand their thinking, but that bothers me. What else about this situation? So, again, I'm not going to mention Dr. David Dio's background. Oh, I am going to mention, in a way, that's what I said earlier and then got sidetracked. The only thing I've heard is, we saw the video where he's being dragged down the aisle and people are screaming, "Oh, don't hurt him, stop, you can't be doing this, stop doing that." The only thing I heard was that he said he was a doctor, but is that all he really said? Because, they didn't just, well, they made an announcement, I'm guessing. We are overbooked, we need four people, because three people, voluntarily. And I'm sure they must have announced again, we just need one person to make, and, so then they run this thing and they see he's paid the least for the ticket. And this is a directional mic, that. Then they go to him. And I'm sure, they didn't go to him and say, "Get your fucking ass out of, whatever." They went to him and said, "Sir, sorry." First it'd be the stewardess or steward. Is steward the correct thing? The flight crew, the people back in the cabin. "Sir, very sorry. We've overbooked and we have a crew member who needs to, we need for you to exit, the plane or whatever." what do you think his response was? It might have been, no, I'm not going to. But, then it's, sir, we really need to, and you're, we need this seat. I got a feeling that all we know is that somebody said that he said, I'm a doc, I got a feeling he says, hell no, fuck shit, I'm not getting out of this goddamn fucking seat. You can go fuck yourself, you bitch. I'll bet you. But anyway, that wasn't the end of the situation. I would be willing to, because I've actually dealt not with airline. Well, I actually worked FAA control tower security, but I didn't have to, at 2 different airports. I actually worked that at Love Field and Addison Field in Texas. I'm sure that probably the chief of the cabin crew back there, supervisor, a little whatever, they probably have 3 people or 4 people, and one of them is a supervisor, I'm sure, goes and says, I'll take care of it, go up there, sir, and I bet you there was obscenities and fuck you, and I'm not going, and you can't fucking make me go fuck yourself, because I've dealt with a lot of people, not on the, but I've dealt with a lot of people like that, believe me. So I'm guessing probably that the pilot or the co-pilot figures, I'll go back, okay, I'm the captain, I'm in charge of this aircraft, I'm responsible for this, I am the king of this aircraft. Everybody here in this craft is sort of like I'm the captain of the ship, I'm the captain of the Titanic. He goes back, I'll take care of this, I'm in my uniform here, and I have these wings on or whatever, and I have some thing that says captain, He goes back, and I'll bet you the guy did not respond in an appropriate manner, although we haven't heard any, I'm guessing. But having said that, when the security people came, and then when they came, of course, I hope, and I don't think they did, I don't think they just came up and just grabbed him. I think they came up in their uniforms. Not the Simpsons. What's the Cartman? I just love that. On his little scooter. You must respect my authority. I'm sure he came up and said, sir, I'm with the airport security. I need for you to come right now with us. You need to leave. The air crew wants you off this airplane, and you have to leave. I wonder what his response was. By the way, the security, which they shouldn't, no matter what. I've been kicked, I've been spit on, I've been bit, and I didn't, beat the crap out of somebody. Been shot at, but so they should have, they should have been looking out for to make sure that they did not hurt him. Also, you're not going to like to hear this, because anytime there's any talk about police or security or anything like that, there's a large number of people who say, fuck the police, fuck security, whatever. There are some pain management, there are some pain holes that you can put on somebody, which you don't want people really to see, because it looks bad. Because anyway, even if you didn't do that, even if you have somebody that's a bad person, and you have a bad person who's drunk, disorderly, and who everybody in their right mind should actually want out of that situation, when you go to take them into custody or whatever, you will a lot of times have the people around there, no, don't arrest him, you're just a pig, you're using too much force, we know your name, we're going to report you, I'm getting this on camera, everybody knows your name. So, but when they went up, they should have taken steps to tried to remove him. Now, I don't know. Apparently he hit his face on... He was sitting in the window seat, and of course the seat had been vacated next to him. There was nobody there. And they should have made sure that armrest was down, and they should have looked around for anything that could injure this guy when they're going to have to forcibly remove... Well, they should have used, if they could... I don't know. That's really, if they'd have put some type of pain management on the person, you can put some pain management. Of course, when you do that, you don't know. Maybe, you put that pain on the person that's going to make them comply. Maybe that person has had orthopedic surgery done on a bad wrist or something. Lawsuit, maybe you're going to grab something and it's a colostomy bag or, something. It's just fraught with difficulties. It's not a situation that anybody wants to be in. But they should have made sure, and maybe they did. Maybe they put the armrest down, and maybe he deliberately picked it up to raise it up and they didn't notice that. Maybe it just came up because he was drugged across. I don't know. But that's what everybody's talking about, and United did not, at least the management, the CEO did not handle, well, it wasn't handled well, but sometimes these situations are, yeah, I tend to see, I try to see both sides of the situation, but keep in mind, I always say 30 years hospital security. I actually worked more than 30 years of hospital security, and I actually worked longer than 30 years of security because I usually count 1972 to 2000. But I actually worked, even had my own patrol service before I went to hospital security, and I don't usually count that. So I've had a lot. So I do tend to try to see police officers and security, but then I've also, if you watch my videos, there've been a lot of videos where I've really complained about inappropriate things that police officers do. So I don't. But keep in mind, that's the perspective that I come from when I see something like this. Also, I'll admit, and that's why I mentioned I think I'm 76 years old, the fact that this guy is filing a lawsuit right now, immediately, it happened 2 days ago or whatever, that upsets me a little bit. I'm not like the Republicans, the right wing, who don't want anybody to be able to sue. No, that's not. I want people to be able to sue. They want to keep you from being able to sue corporations. They also want to limit how much you can sue for, and the reason they want to do that is to protect corporations. But it's also, like this guy here, I'm sure he had hundreds of lawyers contacting him. I mean, he didn't have to go hunt. Can I find a lawyer to, represent me in this case, without me having to pay tons of money? I'm sure that he was contacted by a whole bunch of hundreds, maybe thousands of lawyers saying, I will take your case. Please don't sign with anybody else. Sign with me. Because this case has everything. I mean, for the victim here and for his attorney, everything in their favor. Just think already of the jury that's tainted, the people who are going to be on the jury. Of course, they're going to see these videos, anyway in the trial. But with my age, like I said, I am opposed. Republicans want to do away with your ability to sue corporations. Unbelievable, by the way. Here I go off on a tangent, but it's sort of connected. I'm in Texas. In the Texas, it won't pass. Well, I don't know. I didn't think Trump would win. In Texas, Texas Republican legislators are proposing a law. You're not going to believe this. You are not going to, I can't even. They're proposing a law that would prevent you from suing a doctor who delivers your baby and there's something wrong with your baby. Now, I understand that OB doctors are one of the, you deliver a baby and if there's anything wrong, there's lawyers lined up who want to, contact the parents and sue you. I think orthopedics is the next. If you break something and the orthopedic surgeon, the orthopedic surgeon may be great. I knew one for sure. Great orthopedic surgeon. You don't know when, no matter even how talented the surgeon is and everything else, that you don't know what the outcome is going to. Well, maybe the doctor knows 90% of the time, but there's always that. And then that's another area where, I'd hate to be